Hi, welcome to this new video. In this video, we will learn about client-side validations. Let's start. We will learn how to implement the client-side validation in ASP.NET Core, and to work with client-side validation, we need some libraries. So we will learn what all libraries are required to work with client-side validations. We will implement the client-side validation, and we will learn how to disable this client-side validation by making some changes into our configuration. Several other things that are required to work with client-side validation in ASP.NET Core we will cover in this video. Let's open Visual Studio. Before learning about client-side validation, let's understand what is the need of using these client-side validations. As you have already seen that we are implementing server-side validations into our ASP.NET Core application by using some model validation attributes. Here is the model, and over here you can see that we are using these attributes, and these attributes are available in system.componentModel.data annotations. Then what is the need of using client-side validation? Let's understand that concept first, and let's put a breakpoint into our controller class. This is the post method of adding a new book into our database. So here is the post method, and let's put a breakpoint over here. We have already implemented some validations in some previous videos. Now without adding any data, I am going to click on this add book button. This time you can notice that we got the request here on this server, and here this breakpoint got hit. Let's click on the continue button. Okay, so what is happening over here? Whenever we are clicking on the add book button, a request goes from our client to the server, and then the data gets validated on the server, and again we got the response as an error. Okay, now let's fill some data. Suppose I am choosing the language of my book. Let's click on the English and again click on the add book button. Again the same process is happening. Request comes onto the server. We are validating the request over here, and then we are getting the response, and we are displaying the error messages over here. So what is the problem in this approach? Functionality is working fine, but we may have some performance issue over here. What is that performance issue? To validate this data, we are hitting the server in each request, and this is not a good practice. We can validate this entire data on our client side. There is no need to hit the server again and again. This is the reason why we need client-side validations into our application. If you are working with validations, then I would suggest you to implement both side validations. We have already implemented server-side validations, and now we are going to implement client-side validations. Let's learn how to do that. To work with client-side validations, we need some libraries. These are some JavaScript libraries, and first we need jQuery. Then we need jQuery.validate.js. Then we need jQuery.validate.unobtrusive.js. If we are using these three libraries into our application, then we can enable client-side validations automatically from the server-side validations. So there is no need to write your logic again and again. Whatever code you have written onto your model class as an attribute, those attributes will be available as a client-side validation automatically. Let's see how to do that. First, let's install all these libraries into our application. There are two ways to install these libraries. Either you can use the CDN, or you can use the client libraries over here by using this library manager. Let's click on this folder www.root, click on the add, and click on this client side library. Here you can search for jQuery validate. Let's click on this one. Here you can notice that we are having lots of files. These files are available to display the message in your local language. Suppose you are implementing internationalization in your application, then to display the message in your own language, you need these JS files. Let's see what all we got. So here are some files, and let's click on the install button. Here you can notice that inside this www.root folder, we got a new folder with name jQuery validate, and we have all the files over here. Now we need to include one more JS library to this application. Let's again right click on this folder, click add, and choose client side library. This time let's search for jQuery validation and choose this unobtrusive. Let's click on this one. Okay, again click on the install button. Here is the library. Now you can notice that we have three libraries into our application. Let's save all the changes, and inside this layout file, let's scroll down a little bit. Here we are using this jQuery.js library. Okay, now let's make some changes over here. We need to use these files over here into our layout file. So first we need this validate file. Let's drag and drop the reference over here, and then we need this unobtrusive file. Just focus on the order that I'm using over here. First we need jQuery, then we need jQuery.validate, and at the last we need jQuery validation unobtrusive. Let's save all the changes. Here you can notice that we are using these libraries in this development environment. If you want to include the libraries into non-development environment, then you can use the minified version. So here are the minified version like this. Same goes with the unobtrusive file. Okay, that's it. Now without making any further change, let's run this application in debug mode. And again, without adding any data, let's click on this add book button. This time you can notice that we are getting all the validation messages over here on this client side. We are not hitting the server. How is this happening? Let's verify the HTML. Okay, so let's right click on any of these fields and click on the inspect. Just have a look on this input tag this time. Along with this form control, a new class input validation error has been added over here, and here we have data val property. Again we have data val length. Then you can notice data val length max. It means all the validations that you have implemented onto the corresponding property of your model class, all of them are available over here automatically. There we have implemented two validations. This one is for the length, and again this one is for the required. So both the messages are available over here. Let's try to enter the title of the book. Suppose here I am writing T. Just notice on the validation. Here I have entered T and the message got changed. This time we are getting new message. It means the field title must be a string with a minimum length of 5. It means we need to enter a string with minimum length of 5. Let's enter the full name, textbook, and automatically the error is gone. Let's choose some data from this drop down. The error is gone. Here you can notice that everything is happening on the client side. There is no need to hit your server again and again. If in this condition again I am clicking on the add book button, then again you will notice that we are not hitting the server. We are validating everything over here in this client side. Let's enter the total pages, and this time, and let's click on the add book button. This time you will notice that we are hitting our server, and let's click on the continue button. Everything is working fine as expected. So this is how you can enable client-side validations into your ASP.NET Core application. Now let's learn how can we disable these client-side validations in case you want to debug something. To disable these client-side validations into your application, you need to make some changes into your startup class. Let's open the startup class. Inside this startup class, you need to go to this configure services method, and inside this configure services method, we need to make some changes in this add razor pages method. Again, you can notice that here we are using if condition for the debug. It means this code will run only in the debug environment. This will not work in the production environment. So if you want to disable your changes only in the development environment, and I hope you will need these settings only for the development environment, because for the production environment, I would never suggest you to disable the client-side validations. You must enable all of them to get the better performance of your application. Okay, so we need to make some changes over here in this add razor pages method. Here you can notice that we are already using one method with name add razor runtime compilation, and along with this we need to add one more method over here. Let's see how to do that. At the last of this method, you can press dot and type add view option. Inside this method, by using lambda expression, we can write our code. Option dot HTML helper options dot, and we have a property over here client validation enabled. We need to change it to the false, and that is it. Let's build the solution and run this application again in debug mode, and click on the add book button this time. Here you can notice that client-side validations are disabled and we are hitting our server. So in case you need to validate your server-side validations, then you can do that easily by disabling your client-side validations. I am going to remove this code because this is not required in our case, but for your reference I am going to comment this code so that you can find it later. That is all in this video. In this video we have learned how to enable client-side validations by using some libraries automatically. We have also covered how to disable these validations in case we need to debug our code. Make sure you hit the like button of this video. If you have any questions or suggestions, then you can ask me everything into the comment section of this video. Please share this video, subscribe to the channel and join the membership of our WebGentle YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.